Hi everyone. Today I am starting a new journal. I am using the Butterfly Delight Kit by Artie Mays, and I've already put together the signature. It's going to be a one signature journal with a 9x12 envelope cover. So I've got the designer pages in here. I've got some columnar pad, coffee dyed paper, lots of beautiful pages in here, and I have printed them double-sided as well. I've got a little bit of scrapbook paper in here, and little envelope, and then I've got, there's more scrapbook paper, graph paper, dictionary page, music paper, and more scrapbook paper. And then I wanted to try, and this will be one of our videos. First, I've seen a lot of people making these little envelope booklets or what have you. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but this is going to be my center. So I have attached two of those together for the center, and then we'll do something with it. What I was thinking is I might be able to trim off the sides, and I think this will fit perfectly in there with some lace. So we'll see, but that'll be another day. So today we are going to work on the covers. And so what I've done, let me bring in my what do you call this? Non-stick sheet. I have taken a 9x12 envelope, and I've just sealed it. This doesn't have a clasp, it's just the sticky, and I have gessoed it. Now the reason that I gessoed it is because I'm going to be using the masking, and I don't know if you can see my fingers through that, but this stuff is really thin, which is cool, but I'm not thrilled with the color of the envelope showing through the green exactly. I don't want to put 2 layers of paper, so I thought if I gessoed it, it might just take that down just enough to where we could get the masking paper on here, and it's not going to show through. I want the green, I don't want orange and green. So you guys know how I feel about orange. Sorry, Amanda. So anyway, I have got a piece cut. The fan blew it away from me. And this this masking paper, I mean, look at this roll. This, I believe, okay, there's 3. This one was like $2.50, and I want to say there's like 180 yards. If not 180 yards, I think there's 180 yards on here. It's a ton of paper. This will last me forever. That was like $2.50, and then this one was like $3.50, and then they have a pink one, but the pink one only comes in the 24-inch row. The green one comes in the 12-inch, and then the craft comes in a 6-inch or a 12-inch, and yeah, this one comes in quite handy for envelopes and such. But anyway, because we're doing the butterfly, it's kind of a nature kind of thing. There's a lot of green in the kit. I wanted to do a green cover. So anyway, all we're going to do basically is wrap this around. And I did not glue inside or anything because I kind of like the sound of the journal. So I'm just going to lay that aside for a second. The first thing I'm going to do is crumple this, and I'm going to do it away from the camera just so you guys don't go deaf. But you'll be able to still hear me crumpling the paper. I'm just going to crumple it to get and if you're like me, you like that sound. That is one of the sounds. It's funny that I ended up working with paper in my adult life, because When I was a kid, one of my favorite sounds besides tap dancing was crumpled paper, like brown bag. And here I am working with paper every day. So kind of a dream job. Okay, so anyway, I've just got that, and I think that's fine. I think that's got a lot of tiny wrinkles. It's got some larger areas, and I think that's going to work. So, and I'm going to use the Mod Podge for this. So, all right. So what I'm going to do, bring my envelope back and get some Mod Podge on here. I have watered this down a tad. I think there was probably 2/3, and I've put maybe, gosh, a little over a tablespoon of water, just to get it a little bit more on the move. I don't want it to stick quick necessarily. So there we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to Mod Podge over the top, so I'm not worried about that, getting Mod Podge on the other piece. Then I'm just going to center this like so. Press it down. Now, because I added the water, it's not going to adhere tight. It'll take a second here to adhere, but it's just easier to spread when I add a little bit of water to it. Okay. Now that didn't take out any wrinkles. Okay, now I know some people trim the corners. For some reason, when I trim the corners, always come up short. So I don't trim the corners. I fold them over, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put some glue around here, or Mod Podge, just to help me attach the, I just flicked it all over everything. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Let me get that off real quick. Okay. I take the corners and I just kind of very carefully fold up, fold in, and then lay that down rather than trimming. This, I wouldn't necessarily do that with a thicker paper, but because this is so thick, or thin, sorry, I feel like I can do that. And so I bet I'm not even where you can see me. So I fold it in. It doesn't have to be straight. It helps, but it's not absolutely necessary. And then I just kind of fold those down like that. And it covers that corner for me, because I feel like I never cut it exactly perfect. And you know, if I leave that little extra piece over there, I still have the bulk that I have right now. So I'm not worried about it. I just fold it in, and it works fine. Now, I have not tried, this is the first time I'm trying this with the green paper. I've done it with the craft. Actually, peel that off a little bit here. Get it a little bit straighter. I've tried it with the craft, but I haven't tried it with the green, so I'm anxious to see how that comes out. But I have, you know, those rolls sitting here, and I thought, well, I should probably do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more Mod Podge around the edges, and then we're going to fold this in. I want it to be up against the edge of the envelope, so I'm just kind of massaging it into place, and then we'll press that down. And we'll do the opposite side. just getting that right up against the edge there. And be careful because, you know, the paper will tear if you're not careful because it is rather thin. Okay, now we'll do the long sides. Okay. And there's no way to get around, excuse me, get around this. It's going to be messy no matter what you do. It is a messy process, but I think it's worth it. But do you see how that corner's not covered? If I had trimmed the corner, that might not be covered, and I'm not okay with the corners not being covered because this envelope is quite a bit larger. I'm using 8.5 by 11 paper, and this is 9 by 12, so I'm going to have like a 1/2 inch gap all around, so I really want those corners covered. Okay, get a little bit of stuff in the corner. Okay, I'm going to just pull this. I think it'll be easier to do it pulling it down this way. Yeah. Now some of this gap here is the paper moving on me when I'm pulling it up, but yeah, that looks good. A little bit in here. Just to hold that down better. And here. Like I said, because of the water, it takes an extra few seconds to get it adhered the way you'd like. But it will work. And I just feel like it takes me longer if I use the Mod Podge without watering it down. So I can get more done when I add a little bit of water, even though it takes a little bit longer to dry. Okay, you can see that texture is still on there. So what I'm going to do is set this aside to dry for a little bit, and then I will be back and we will distress it up a little bit. Be right back. My bad. We need to, I want to Mod Podge the cover too. So that's the next step. So we are just going to slather some of this on. And it just, like I said, it just moves faster for me this way. Now, the one thing that you want to take into consideration here is where it pools, because that may or may not dry white. Depends on how thick it is, but not only does it take quite a bit longer, but it can remain white if it's thick enough. I haven't had serious issues. I did this one about 15 minutes ago, and it's looking pretty clear and not even tacky anymore. So yeah, I think just, where there's major pooling. And what I've noticed is I'll come back after a couple minutes and it'll have areas that have pooled again, and I just go and brush them out. Sometimes you can just tap it out if there's a lot of them, and then just brush through it. But I think that right there is good. So now we are going to let this dry, and sometimes when you're trying to take the pooling out, if you got a lot on your brush, it will just add to it. But I think I'm pretty good there. I'll turn it this way and look. Sometimes you can see from the other side. So, all right, now I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now, the color that I want to distress this with is bamboo. Now, I don't know what color this would relate to in the Tim Holtz world, but I think it might be the burlapish color that I've seen. It kind of appears, this one has like a green tint to it. It's very faint, but I think it turns out really, really neat on here. I have one done. I hope you can see that it just kind of gets in the little pits and gives it a little bit more texture. It's not dark and grungy or anything, especially right here. I don't know if you can see this area right here. It's really cool, very subtle, but that's what I'm going for. This kit is delicate and feminine, and I'm going to be using the pink pearls for this one. So anyway, all I'm going to do, and now I know you're probably thinking, well, you Mod Podge that, it's not going to stay. I have a very thin, watered down coat of Mod Podge. It is not sticky or tacky, and it takes the ink. I have never had a problem. I've never had a problem with using this method of it taking the ink. It doesn't rub off. I've never had issues with this. This does not feel like your typical Mod Podge cover. It's not plasticky. It's still very pliable. And all I'm doing is kind of, rubbing it in to those little areas. And you can see right away that it picks up, well, at least I hope you can see, it picks up some of those areas where it's really crinkly, and you may not even see that there's a texture there when you're looking at it, but the ink will pick it up. And like I said, this color comes off if you're just using it on white paper with kind of a green tint to it. It is bamboo. Bamboo is green. But I really, really like how this is coming out. You see how much it picked up right there? And along the edges, it likes it a lot. So I'm just kind of massaging it in. Turn it around this way. And I don't need a ton. But I just want to pick up some of those areas, and I don't want it to be mega grungy. The last one I did was grungy. See, I go back and forth. I like to do a little grunge and a lot of grunge, and then this one is just going to be a little bit softer and excuse me, more feminine. Yeah, I like how that's picking that up along the edges. This one's not quite as dry as it should be. It's still a little not damp, but it could have probably used another 10 minutes, but I have an appointment. So I wanted to get this finished for you guys. Today is my nephew's birthday. Hi, Logan. And we are going out to lunch for pizza to celebrate at his favorite place. So, but I needed to get a video up because yesterday was cram-packed. Boy, this whole week has been just crazy, running here and there and everywhere. So let's see. I've kind of got a glare. Let me look in the light a little bit better. I'm sure there's some places where I missed. But it's kind of a weird, hazy day outside. So I'm not getting my regular light. That's cool. Nice. I think that'll do. Okay, so what I intend to do is let this dry, and then I will, actually, you know what, I want to put the, do I want to put Tyvek on the inside, or do I want to use a strip of fabric? Take 3. Fabric. I think I want to put a strip of fabric down the middle. But I need to let this dry just a tad more, and then we will come back and take care of that. Okay, our cover has dried for the most part. So what I want to do is go ahead and put the inside liner on. Now all I've done is trimmed off the white edge and zigzagged around the outside of this. I'm going to use the tacky glue because tacky glue does not glue. It glues. It doesn't dry as stiff as the other glues. So I'm just going to use the tacky glue because I think it'll keep the cover somewhat pliable, and I'm still debating whether or not I want to sew around the cover, as far as around the edge, you know, with I've zigzagged the cover, the photo, you know, from the I'm losing my words today, the picture from the kit that I want to use for the cover. I have, oh my goodness, that came out too thick. I sewed around that as well, but with a zigzag stitch, and the back cover as well. But I don't know if I'm going to sew around the whole thing. I may, because I really like the way it looks when it has that little bit of stitching around there. So okay, we're going to do our best to center this about a 1/2 inch on all sides. I've got some moving time. I want to go ahead and brayer that, but I'm going to need my baby wipe to wipe off some of that oozy stuff. But I want to make sure that's making good contact because I don't want it buckling and such. My poor brayer needs to be soaked. It's got so much glue on it. Okay, looks like it kind of slid a little, but I think it's okay. I may have cut that a little crooked because it looks straight on the bottom. I want to use fabric in the middle for the excuse me, give the stitches a little something to hang on to rather than paper, instead of the Tyvek. So I'm going to just add this piece right here. Now I guess I need to see where that line is a little bit. Okay. And I think I'll use the tacky glue for that as well. Because I do want it to glue down. And this piece I'm using is about 1.5 inches that I've torn. I bought this big tablecloth at Goodwill, and surrounded in lace. It had this lovely linen on it. So let's see, is that looks straight? Looks pretty good. So I have a ton of this linen fabric and I just love it. It's perfect for stamping on, using for the binding, for layering, and like I said, I have probably at least 2 yards. It was a huge tablecloth and I ended up with like 5 yards of the lace, I'm guesstimating, but yeah, it was quite a bit. So, okay, I like the way that looks. Okay, so let me do this side here. I am debating still on this side. This is the page, and I want to use these. And what I was thinking of doing was maybe taking some of this grosgrain ribbon and kind of sewing along here and doing an edge across the bottom like that. I like this grosgrain ribbon, nice and sturdy, and then just run a string of pearls across. And so I think that's what I'm going to do, but I forgot to sew the ribbon, so let me go do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and glued on these pieces, and then I went to the sewing machine and did a piece of ribbon. That way I can use it for throughout the journal. But I think I just want to put this right across the bottom here. Do I want it across the bottom or do I want it across here? Ooh, I think I want it there. I think I want it there. Now I'm going to trim off that and put just a little bit of tacky glue along the edge, because grosgrain ribbon does have a tendency to, is it ravel or unravel? Leave strings. Yeah, so that would be just enough not to have those little pieces, parts hanging off. And then, yeah, I think I want to put it along the edge there. And how long do I want it? Do I want it top to bottom, or do I want it just, I think I just want that edge right there. And then I will clip this off and do the same thing here. Now you can see it coming off on me. There we go. Okay. So I've got an extra piece of that to use wherever I want, and I can always make more. So I think, yeah, I think I'm just gonna lay that right along that edge. So I'm going to, oh my goodness, look at the back side. That's cool too, because I have black in the top and I have a pre-wound bobbin in the bottom, which is always white. I kind of like how that looks too. But because of the rest of the stitching, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know. Now I don't know. Will it look better? I wanted to put some beads on there, but maybe I'll just put the beads over here, or the pearls. So do I want that, or do I want this? I think I like the other way. Okay, so I am going to put glue on the back of this. Whoa, big bubble. And just run down that line of stitching. Like that. Ah, let go. I refilled this bottle with a bunch of bottles that had just a smidge in them, and it's got some thick glue blobs in it, which is a little irritating. So every once in a while I get a big old yuck coming out of the glue bottle. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'll just do it right along the zigzag stitch, like so. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know why I've never done that before. I see other people, you know, doing ribbons, and I forget about the ribbon. I'm so busy thinking, oh, I have to have lace on everything. So, all right. Now I don't want to use this because these are all individual pieces. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, this is the one. This is 5. Wait a minute. I like to have an odd number. I think 7. Well, that one has 9, so maybe I'll do 9 because I liked the way that looked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't want to use those scissors. Those are my used to be sewing scissors, but they work really well for cutting ribbon and fabric with in the junk journal world. Let's see, where is my glossy accents? So I'm going to cut this out so I can see how large it is and where I need to put glue. Yeah, I like this. It fits perfectly in that spot, so I'm just going to leave it there for a second. Let's hope this comes out. Does anybody else have this issue every time you use the glossy accents? Oh my goodness, it doesn't even want me to stick the pin in there. That's really, really bad. Alright, I'm just going to twist it and see if I can get off whatever is on there. Okay, let's try this. I can see the glue, but there's still something clogging it. I wonder if it's something I'm bringing up with the head of the pin when I take the pin out. There we go. I didn't go over as far as I wanted to, but let's take the backing off, shall we? I'm going to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing here. I never did find my embossing tool with the wood handle that I used for lining these up. Straight. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't like to put too much on the front because, you know, I want the journals to be used and handled, and if you put too much, it just seems to, for me anyway, because maybe I'm just too rough, they fall apart. That things fall off the front, and then it's, anyway. But I do reserve the right to add something else to the cover if I feel so led, so we will see. So far I like this. I like the simplicity of it, and I don't know, I want to do like a just a single straight stitch all the way around, maybe 1/8 of an inch in, and see what that looks like. I think that'll give me a little bit more, I don't know, closure? No. Anyway, I am going to let this dry. That is it for the cover. And then I have a bunch of fun things planned because I want to do some book page belly bands, and I want to do some book page pockets, and then I saw Artie Mays did one where she had her envelopes that she deconstructed into 3 different projects, and I want to try that because I really like the idea of that. She turned it into a couple of pockets, and well, I don't know if she did a video of it, she just mentioned it, but she turned one of her envelopes into a side tuck and 2 pockets. And that was the idea, so I want to try that. We'll see how it works out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.